All right. We are recording. Let me get some bump music. What do you want to open up with, the Gator?
Yeah, I love that Gator one, dude.
Get the Gator.
That one's the shit.
Dutch Chattahoochee.
That's right. That's me, Dutch Chattahoochee, the one and only.
Big Earn Granville.
A.K.A.
Texas Tony Turney.
Yes, sir. Back for episode number 2.
Episode dose. 4th floor of the Nakatomi Towers. And we have been effing with sound equipment for 2 hours? What's it, 11? 2 hours and 15 minutes? Got here at 9?
Yes, but that's the thing, but that's the thing about broadcasting from 979 The Cat. They allow us to mess around for a couple hours before we get going.
I mean, that's what it's about at the Cat. That's actual bump music. We got more of that, but we're going to try to, or at least I'm going to try to maintain discipline where I don't just play with all the buttons, because we figured out how to load some so many technical difficulties.
Hey, look, dude, it's episode number 2. We're not perfect. It's gonna take a good while to understand the equipment.
Yeah, it's crazy. A special shout out to this guy. I kept the video up because he very politely trash talked Zoom. Guy's name is Steve Johnson. So if you have a podcast and you're using some Zoom equipment with Adobe Audition, Steve Johnson, to quote, said, "Zoom's documentation is lacking," and I agree.
Well, because it's like telling you how to make a cake. It's like, okay, so what you do is you dump the eggs, the flour, and all the other good shit, and then you put in there. There's a cake.
I would even say Zoom is like, oh, you want to make cake? Just you grab the stuff that we sent you and throw it in the oven. That's basically
that's what I'm saying.
In depth as they're giving you.
It's a great product, but yeah, the direction is lacking.
Good lordy. So yeah, we're getting it all set up. CBGB episode 2.
You said CBGB.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm gonna get sued for that one.
Maybe.
3BGB.
No, you won't get
we
sued.
love CBGBs.
You're allowed to
travesty
say
that it's gone. But yeah, 3BGB episode 2, and
this episode, you know what's special about this episode?
What's that, Earl?
And this is probably a joke that no one's really going to get, but you're going to get it. Is we're breaking it down from a fundamental standpoint.
Coach Kent Murphy was
it's the greatest guy ever.
He's a great coach, and shout out to him and Nick Hall Comedy. But yeah, we're breaking it down from a fundamental standpoint on so many levels.
He taught me how to never bunt.
Yeah, he taught me how to hit dingers. And,
Dinger derby.
Yeah, that's absolute comedy gold. Because we were talking a little about Trailer Park Boys and comedy gold. It's just the commitment on some of these things that are just so hilarious.
Especially when they've gone on for long. They've gone on for so long, and it's still funny. Aren't they like in their 13th season or something? 14th Trailer Park Boys?
I want them to keep going. Actually, I'm going to do 2 things and then throw it back.
Okay.
And tell me if I missed anything.
Okay.
So my speech teacher told me, he's like, tell him what you're going to tell him, and then tell him what you told him, or some shit like that. I don't really know. So I'm going to go over our topics, but I'm also going to give a short review of podcast 1 of myself.
You should. We'll do a review of our own podcast. Yes.
So I listened to it because I had to like chop some stuff at the front end, and that's the basis of my 15-minute editing and trying to get volume levels down. I come up with a lot of shit out of my mouth, and I don't finish the thought. That's what I noticed. Did you notice that?
Yes. You'll be like talking like, you're like, yeah, so I was at this hot dog place and I really enjoy their hot dogs. Did you know that in this, last year I found this nickel on the ground?
Exactly. Like listening.
But I'm the same way. I go on tangents all the time.
Yeah, it's very tangential and rabbit hole style. And also my sound sucks because I keep moving farther away from my microphone. But yeah, I'd start something when it's like a homeless person on the sidewalk where you're just like, what? You didn't really finish that thought. That's kind of what I noticed about myself.
You need to get you like an arm so you can move the mic with you where you go.
I know that. Why aren't you using the arm? That's sweet. You got it all screwed down to our fold-out table.
I don't know, because I feel like this table stand that I have, it's easier. It's more accessible to the way I sit.
Yeah.
You can try this one out later if you want.
Yeah, I'm so lazy. I have bad posture too, so I just slouch and like hold my mic like I'm flipping Bob Uecker or something.
Typical outfielders always gotta have bad posture.
So topics we're shooting for, if we could pull it off.
I think we can. As long as we stay on that road and doesn't tangent off, but we will. We'll tangent off.
We'll tangent off. So we want to talk a little spring training. I don't really know or care what's going on with the MLB Players Union thing. I've kind of done the ostrich, just head in the sand, man.
Did you see that they actually approved the universal DH rule?
No, don't
look it up. I swear to God, dude.
True.
I swear to God, look it up.
Should I just melt down on the podcast right now?
Yeah, because
I thought it was. I
was listening to a podcast on ESPN or some sports thing, and they were talking about it. How it's like universal, because fucking whatever's Manfred was discussing it. So I don't know if it's gonna be approved or
the impact of the universal.
Yeah, I see it. I told you it sucks.
God,
it sucks.
One day ago. Here's the first joke that came to my mind. I want the Universal Soldier, aka Jean-Claude Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren, to come back and kill everybody that wants the Universal DH.
I wouldn't kill them, but I would eliminate them. No one would know where they are.
Or cut their ears off and make a necklace out of all the people that want the Universal DH, with like the dog tags, and then you got all the ears around your neck like Nam.
You know what I want to happen?
What's
a little bit more not as aggressive approach. I want what's his name? The governor, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes.
To come in there and just yell and be like, "Why?" You know, just yell.
That's sad.
It sucks, dude. Because now the everything's gonna change the way you play. No more strategy. It's like, oh, okay, DH only.
I think I think my ostrich method technically kind of worked then for a day. Because, like, my heart's broken right now that you're telling me.
I'm upset.
But it wasn't yesterday when the news came out or whatever.
But see, what people can't see is I can see the legit pissed off look on your face right now.
I don't know if the sound is picking up banging the mic on my – that's just – oh, my gosh. All right. Well, that'll have to be, like, episode 3. I can get my thoughts together.
Next week we'll strictly just talk about that because that's a whole episode in itself.
Yeah, so I'll find all the best plays, like Matt Stairs' pinch hit home run in the NLCS, where he absolutely crushed one at Dodger Stadium, then went like 30 or 40 rows back at Chavez Ravine, which is such a bomb. But you're not going to do that because you're not going to pinch hit for the hitter there because you have a DH. That you don't have this.
You lose that.
Yeah, you don't have this guy coming off the bench. So clutch. Anyway, I digress. So spring training is topic 1. We're going to rabbit hole from that. Because we're going to talk a little history of spring training in that's going to get us into old-timey rabbit holes.
Because spring training's been around since, the 1800s? Like the mid-1870s, I think, something like that, the first year.
You've done excellent research. I'm just, as I do.
Yeah, I sat there for like an hour last night reading stuff and trying to remember a good amount of stuff to talk about.
Oh, man.
But I didn't realize it was that old. Like, I knew it was like 1900s, but I didn't realize it went back that far.
Right? Like, how much were the salaries then that they could justify, like, let me just go to Florida for 2 months and work on my baseball?
Yeah, but see, back then, too, they worked because they didn't make enough money in baseball. So they still worked like normal people.
Yeah.
But spring training was, like, getting back in shape for them.
Yeah, I guess what I'm thinking is, like, I get it, like, in the 20s and 30s or whatever, that there was you know, you were getting paid to play, even though it wasn't that much for like the White Sox or whatever. But like the 1870s, were they getting salaries? Like,
so, I don't know if they were getting salaries. Weird. I'm not sure.
Where they could just, that's funny. I'm interested.
But little known fact,
yes,
I also in my research realized that the first 2 teams to participate in spring training were called the Cincinnati Red Stockings and Chicago White Stockings. I love those names. Stockings.
Were there even socks in the 1800s? Like nobody. Like if I was in 1875 and I go, "Hey, you got your socks?" You'd be like, "What the fuck are socks?"
Probably. I'm sure they were. No one called them socks.
You mean my stockings, dumbass? That's what you'd say to me.
But you know what? Yeah, they probably didn't call them socks. Hey, the Vandermeulen with his stockings. Ian Vandermeulen with his stockings.
Oh my God. So spring training, rabbit holing into old timey stuff. So this is for our 9 listeners. We're going over the podcast.
However, after
segment
this,
list.
we'll have 10 double-digit listeners.
Yes, and I'm gonna like email some other people,
Mhm.
and then it's hardcore double digits. I expect we'll be double digits for many years, right? Because then you got to break 99 to get 3-digit listeners.
Yeah, I'm thinking by year 2 we'll have 100 listeners. That'll be great. You can tell, what's your biggest accomplishment? Well, this podcast, 100 listeners. Like, oh,
That's
man, you're successful.
Yeah, we're doing good, I think. And then so that's like first segment, old spring training history, old timey rabbit holing, and then we're going to talk a little bit uniform changes, what we do and don't like about different.
I would say,
unis.
yeah, uniforms overall, yeah.
Because I got some thoughts. Like a lot of people, like some of the dudes now are like wearing their pants essentially above the knee, like like super hot pants, and their socks are pulled up so high,
almost like shorts.
Yeah, and then like back in, I can't remember. It sounds like I think it was like the late '70s where the White Sox actually did shorts for like a few games, which is just lore and it's awesome. And
that's
then,
what Kent Murphy rocks, those baseball shorts.
Get the baseball shorts because they had everything. They had like the shorts, but then they also had like weird jerseys with huge like '70s collars.
They also had like weird pant colors. They had like black pants, which is really strange.
We'll pull some images up and laugh at them. And then we discovered, because I brought a yo-yo into the office. You're like, dude, I love yo-yos.
Yeah, I was already playing with it for like 20 minutes earlier.
I'm not good at yo-yo, but I am aware that there are like yo-yo competitions where like dudes that are insanely awesome just perform in front of people. And I feel like there must be at least like a couple yo-yo groupies. Like they watch the yo-yo performer, guy or girl, they just watch the yo-yo performer and they're like, that's hot. I am going to throw myself at this person.
Did you know that there are yo-yo competitions where they use 2 yo-yos at the same time?
Yeah, I've seen that. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I was like, what the fuck?
Like if somebody did that, you'd be so impressed. Like
I would break like so much in my house if I tried that double yo-yo trick.
Yeah, like doing it inside in the rec room.
Hey, watch this. I want to do a double slinger. And fucking break all the cabinets glass. And
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I've ever tried double yo-yo, but
I'm not going to.
I think indoors, like that one's metal, so like
your son,
you're knocking yourself out.
Your son would be like, "Dad, calm the fuck down."
Your wife's gonna come downstairs and find you face down. Like, what happened, Earl?
She'd be like, "I told you."
You're just bleeding. And then music review, we're gonna try to go with the Isotopes. Earl turned me out. We did Mark Sultan last week, episode 1. We're gonna try the Isotopes, which are
a punk band that sings about baseball.
Punk band that sings about baseball. Could be more up our alley. Should be special guests.
Oh,
at some
it is
point.
up our alley. Like,
It's in the power alley. Look at our sound. We have Audacity in the background, and we're just. We actually figured out multi-track.
The levels are excellent.
We kind of figured out bump music inputting. Special thanks to DeWolf and Steve Johnson.
And 97.9 The Cat for allowing us to access their catalog. Actually, it's not their catalog, but
the corporate execs at 97.9 The Cat want to fire us so bad, but they can't because we're the #1 team in the Power Hour.
Like, what's the Power Hour? Whenever we decide to go on.
Whenever we figure out the sound equipment. All right, spring training. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, or get delayed. That seems like if you're arguing about labor, we're going to lose it. But the times, that's another thing I'm trying to work on, which is probably making podcasts super annoying. It's my ums and uhs. But the spring training was back in the old days. Get my fat ass into shape.
Yeah, because you was working all year round.
But now it's like these dudes got millions of dollars. They don't have to work at a furniture store.
I think spring training, I think the pros and established veterans, they don't even play a whole lot. They play like a couple games, I think, if that.
Yeah, like just off the top of my head, like Yogi Berra worked in a restaurant where the quote, people don't go there anymore, it's too busy. He was like referring to this like top-notch restaurant that name escapes me in St. Louis where he worked in the off-season as the maitre d'. How cool would that be? Like go get a table from Yogi Berra. I'd go to that restaurant every night.
I would too.
And how did also on a scouting front, like back in the old days, you kind of scouted local. How did the Cardinals miss out on Berra? Like he's from St. Louis. You got to scout the local guy.
It happens because
Yankees got him.
It happens all the time with sports. So when you scout, they don't seem like, oh, they're okay, and they end up being a stud. You just don't know sometimes.
Oh, you know what? There's also random funny Yoga Berra story. Yogi Berra story. So I didn't know this, and it was probably like something on Twitter or like you go down the rabbit hole. But Yogi Berra played under an assumed name in New England, in like Rhode Island area, and it was when he was in the service, and I don't think he was allowed to do it under his Yankees contract.
Yogi's a
So-
nickname, right? That was like his nickname.
Yeah, I think it's like Lawrence actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Um,
Lawrence.
Yogi.
Oh, okay, here we go. Lawrence Peter Berra.
Yeah, Lawrence. He's just called Yogi because he was like sitting at the field one time, kind of contently, and somebody said, "You look like a yogi," and there it stuck. What a legend!
I think-
Veteran. He was at D-Day. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, he was in a transport boat, I believe, at D-Day.
What makes
And
sense?
Such a hardcore American. You'd never hear him talk about it. Never probably mention it once in his life.
Because baseball's his first love.
Dude's a friggin' hero. All right, so spring training. You work at in the other. I guess maybe I know more Yogi Berra stuff than I should, but that's not true. But he said, you only got so many throws in that arm. These guys need to take the off season off, like we did back in the old days. Go fishing, go hunting.
It's also good for mentally to get away from that.
Take a break.
Yeah.
These dudes
Relax.
training all year long.
Be-
Go sit on your ass, watch some movies.
That's
go
like
fishing.
Little League too. Like Little League and high school and stuff, they play all year round. They do like summer leagues, like winter leagues, everything. They play a lot.
Yeah, you gotta take a break. So as far as spring training now, you show up, and if you're in Arizona, get ready to get some kind of speeding ticket or red light ticket. I don't know if they've done away with the red light cameras, but if you want to go to Arizona, you're gonna get about 6 tickets. And if you're a legislator in Arizona, yeah, I'm talking to you. Get rid of those friggin' things. It's ridiculous, man.
You said Arizona. That's one of the.
I never
that's
went to
where
Florida.
the leagues is at. You have 2 leagues in the what do you call it? Spring training now.
You got the grapefruit and the cactus.
Yeah.
Cactus being Arizona, grapefruit being Florida. However, I mean, I'm just
That's
saying.
where the Rays. That's where the Rays practice.
You probably grow grapefruit in Arizona, but.
Did
nevertheless.
you know on my Rays hat? If you ever noticed, I have the Grapefruit League pin on my hat.
Oh no.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I found it on lids. They were like clearancing it out. I was like, I need that, so I stuck it on my Rays hat. Got to represent the Grapefruit League.
The Grapefruit League, I would love to go to. There's like St. Petersburg. There's a time when I was looking at, I was like, you know what? F this working man bowl. I'm gonna, this is like pre-children or whatever. It's like, dude, I'm gonna be an umpire. I'm gonna be a minor league umpire. And they had like a little training down there in Florida you can go to, and then like try to get on with one of like the minor leagues or independent leagues. It sounded awesome, but I think that was, and then like COVID hit, and life happened real fast. So I don't know. So tell me about spring training in the 1800s. What do you know about that other than that's when it started?
Well, originally there was only 2 teams.
Only 2 teams did it.
Yeah, the Red Stockings and the White Stockings.
You couldn't. I guess you really couldn't have. We had to play somebody.
Yeah, so I guess it was just like 2 teams originally.
Where did they go?
New Orleans.
Oh, okay, yeah.
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 That was the first official camp, I guess they want to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds right because actually in San Antonio was a spring training destination for a while.
Yeah.
And I actually have. I don't think.
There's also some people I was doing research, and some people were saying that it didn't start till 1888. So there's like an 18-year gap between when some people say it started. Because some people said it started in 1870, while other people say 1888, which was in Jacksonville. It was like a 4-day camp in Jacksonville, Florida. So I don't know how those dates got mixed up.
I'm looking at a picture of Kid Gleason and John McGraw
What year?
in 1910 spring training, I believe, in San Antonio, Texas, where we're at, and that's not happening anymore. But of course, they used to do the Barnstorm too. They do spring training, and then they work their way back north, playing in every single little flipping town
Yeah.
on the way up, making as much money as they could, which makes sense. And then the other thing, what I didn't realize that they did back then, like the Babe Ruth era and probably before, but there's like regular season, but they're trying to make money. The owners would be like, okay, yeah, Thursday's not an off day. We got an exhibition game against the Firemen in Baltimore, and you're like, what? If you're the players, you'd be like,
Oh yeah.
they would have exhibition games all through the middle of the season, which we don't do anymore.
Back then, it was just like playing whoever wanted to have a team.
I don't know when they did
the
away.
San Antonio Police Force versus Boston Blue Stockings.
Yeah.
I changed the name to Blue Stockings because it sounds cooler than Red Sox, but whatever.
And I think if you're Babe Ruth in an exhibition game against like the Firemen and Policemen, you're just like, they want to see me, jack 5 homers. You don't get credit for those stats, but
he was coming in jacked up on beer and hot dogs.
Yeah, he's probably hungover for that game.
Dude, because that's a known fact. That's all that was his diet, beer and hot dogs.
My gosh.
Can you imagine today's players that was their diet, beer and hot dogs?
Yeah, and like hot dogs, I don't know when they were invented, but like if it's the 1920s, that would be all I ate.
Absolutely. Can't get a mustard on hot dogs.
Like
Shane.
now, like, whatever. I think AA came along and like the 30s got hot, and it's picked up. It's now like an international organization, what have you. But pre that, you're just drinking beer. Prohibition, when did that get over with? So and that didn't stop anybody from drinking. And then you're telling me you're going to a ballpark where there's nothing but hot dogs?
Hot dogs and beer.
Hot dogs and beer and hookers? That's what.
And men in suits. Everybody wore suits.
That's right. Everybody did wear suits. They hadn't invented the T-shirt yet. Is that right? They just had like the tank top wife beater.
Maybe. I'm not a fashion expert, but
I don't know where the term wife beater came from. But I'm assuming the TV show Cops. Does that sound right?
I don't know. Yeah.
I
I would say along those lines, some fucking trashy person with their little tank top white on, get your ass in this house, and yeah.
I'm just gonna go completely down the wife beater T-shirt nomenclature rabbit hole in our spring training segment. So
it goes hand in hand, obviously.
I think they're related topics. Because I get distracted unless I just riff. Like I'm trying to research Yogi Bear in spring training and it's not working. So this is the wife beater rabbit hole. So I feel like there's like Hollywood making movies, and I'm talking movies in like the 40s and 50s, and you have to cast like the angry white dude who's like thrashing his wife, and then the cops knock on the door. The hero knocks on the door. He like throws open the screen. He's like, "What do you want, Hal?" And he's wearing like that white tank top. And they just got so consistent with it that character, when he throws open the screen door, like, "Hey, I'm dealing with family stuff in here. What do you want?" He's just always beating his wife.
So according to this dictionary.com article, it says I looked it up. I legit looked up the origin of this fucking phrase.
You're doing good work over there.
It says in 1947, a brutal crime story went viral and indirectly associated a violent male with a wife beater shirt. So, yeah, I guess that's when it started, 1947.
Okay, that sounds about right. Well, hopefully we're making strides in 2022 against domestic violence. However, the name of that shirt is just never going to die.
Yeah. It to me, it's funny. It doesn't. I think it's just funny. But I see white beaters, like those white tank tops. They're just trashy shirts. I'm sorry.
And you know how I never finish a thought, Earl?
What's that? Yeah, you just don't know. We went from hot dogs and beer to white beaters and.
Yeah, and so now I'm going to come back to your point that back in the old days, they had T-shirts. Got to throw that suit on every day.
I'm sure they had T-shirts, but like back then, people dressed a lot more nice.
You weren't printing logos?
No.
I wonder what the first T-shirt with something dumb on it was. When did that happen?
It's got to be, who knows?
It was everywhere in the 60s.
Can you imagine wearing a T-shirt like in the 50s? Is like, Buddy Holly's a fucking asshole on your shirt.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Graphic tees is what they're called, right? Graphic tees.
Everybody looked classier. Now we all look like what basically I am, community college student.
That's what I am.
This is my 4th year of community college.
This is my 2nd year. So, because it's supposed to, like, my degree plan is a 2-year plan, but because I work full-time and go to school full-time, it's going to take me, like, 4 years.
I just keep going to community college. But it worked out this time because we ran into each other in sound class. So
speaking of community college, I see you got your Banana Slugs hoodie on over there.
UCSC Banana Slugs. For those people who don't want to go to spring training and get red light tickets, go to Santa Cruz, California. That town is so effing beautiful. I can't believe it. And if you go to that campus, you can get cool Banana Slugs gear, but the bookstore has like 0 parking spots. You think I'm kidding. You're like, a college bookstore has no parking. Yes. It's in the middle of a redwood forest, and all the buildings are like tucked in the hills and trees, separated from each other, and every building has about 2 parking spots. So it's just like, dude, you're either walking or you're biking, and that's UCSC.
But they had the coolest logo like ever and the coolest mascot name, Banana Slugs.
Yeah, it is a cool mascot and name, and that's why I went there. But it's so cool that I think there's other people that want it, and then they roll up there and they're like, oh yeah, there is no parking here. But
it's not as cool as Havana Bananas, but
I looked those guys up. That's the Savannah Bananas or whatever. That's like a college league. And as we're riffing on baseball, just talking about spring training of baseball, I was thinking about some stuff we could do in the summer and get some baseball coverage and go check out some Pecos League games. The Pecos League are warriors. It's the lowest of the low to be considered professional baseball, how little they make.
Well, they're just doing it for the fun, for the enjoyment of playing baseball.
Well, you know who was in the Pecos League was Yerman Mercedes of the White Sox. Like, dudes will come out of that league it's pretty rare, but every once in a while, dude. So it's like, it's the last chance dance for like college guys and guys who are like, dude, I don't want to work in the furniture store yet. Or Jiffy Lube, because I worked at Jiffy Lube.
You did?
Yeah. These people are like, no, dude, give me one more chance. I need some more at bats. I need to get some more innings in, and they're just gonna like go play in that league so they can play some baseball. And that's beautiful because they're bringing baseball to a lot of communities. And yeah, there's 20 people, the game, whatever. They're bringing baseball. They're playing baseball. You know, they're keeping it alive. And the commissioner of that league, I think the guy's name is Andrew Dunn, has been keeping the Pecos League going. The teams kind of move around. They got like a league going in California now.
Isn't it like 6 teams though, or something like that?
There's like Cali League, and then there's like Texas and New Mexico kind of stuff. But I mean, it's shoestring budget. I can't imagine the amount of emails and phone calls it takes to find these dudes housing and host families. And the Pecos League is every year making it happen on just practically nothing. They're making it happen. But yet Major League Baseball is like, you know what? We don't need 40 minor league teams. You can die. You're on your own now. So it's like they're killing baseball, and you got this dude out here. And for people that want to laugh at the Pecos League, they need to check themselves, because that's promoting baseball. That's bringing baseball. And they have like training camps where college dudes can go and try out and make a team and stuff like that. So it's just like the more baseball, the better.
Pecos League is very like the beginning of time, like the beginning of baseball style. I mean, it's a few teams, just regular dudes working regular jobs, playing baseball. You know, when they
I wonder how many. I'd love to interview you guys. Like, okay, so you get paid whatever, $80 a week, or it's like it's total peanuts, and it's like, you guys picking up any side jobs? Because it's hard. You got to travel with it. Fields aren't that good. But if you check out YouTube and look at Pecos League, there's some pretty good like little vignettes interviewing people and the players, and it's kind of, I'm very romantic about the Pecos League. And the other thing they figured out is the swag, because they got funny team names, so you'll buy stuff.
I was looking up the Pecos League salary, and according to the I mean, this is Wikipedia, so granted it could be false, but apparently it says $50 per player. So they play 64 games in 78 days for a weekly salary of $50 per player.
So, yeah, it's about $200. But you're paid to play. You're professional.
True.
$200.
So technically you can tell people you're a professional baseball player.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing, like, if you check out the website, they're doing all kinds of creative stuff with, like, sponsor. You know, we should get the 3BGB sponsorship. We should sponsor, I say, the On Deck Circle.
That would be,
you get your
that'd
logo
be sick.
On the On Deck Circle.
And I'm sure it would be really
or the
cheap.
jersey.
It'd be cheap too.
We could put our logo on the jersey and then buy jerseys and wear them.
We should look into that.
Yeah.
We'll get
support the Pecos League.
It'll help them and help us.
To all the 9 listeners, I say go check out a Pecos League game. I don't care how far the drive is.
We'll go to a freaking game too. We'll try to go to a game. we'll do a broadcast from the game.
I'm such an idiot. I'm stuffing donuts in my face.
We'll see. You have the microphone away from you,
That's
so
not
they
good
can't hear
sound.
the they can't hear the smack. But listen, this is like I said, like we said, this isn't like a professional podcast. It's just like two dudes chatting it up, right? So there's going to be sounds of things that you probably wouldn't normally hear on a professional podcast. But it's. I want people to take away from this. It's like they're just sitting in a room chatting with us,
Yeah.
listening to it on their morning drive.
We've got some pretty good rabbit holes going. Looks like audition's still rolling.
So, do you want to start talking about like old timey baseball uniforms?
I want to bring up one other random kind of spring training story, and the guy's name is he was the basis for Epi Calvin LaLouche in the I'm such an idiot. It's the greatest baseball
remember-
movie. Crash Davis and Bull Durham. Okay, so this dude never made it to the shows. Never made it to the pros, okay? And he threw so insanely hard. So obviously everybody kind of faces prospects in spring training. So you get these matchups in spring training. I'm trying to find the guy's name.
For what?
Because the guy's name that was based on, let me find it here. This is so bad.
So speaking of spring training, I remember, if you remember, this is I think like 10 years ago. I remember this because everybody was talking about him. So he was like this guy for the Baltimore Orioles. He was like a catcher or something. I think it was like something Jake Fox. I think it was like he went off in the Grapefruit League one year, in like I think like 2011. But that was it. Like I don't know if he got called up or not, but you probably don't remember him. Maybe Jake Fox. He was like a catcher, I think.
Jake Fox. Who was the guy?
He was for the Baltimore Orioles, and he like went off one year in spring training, dude. He was like, but
We need to talk about
I think-
editing out my idiocy,
What's
because oh my gosh, it's terrible. Yeah, we should talk. This is why we got to have better prep, and you
So-
can't be like raising children like
but
me
see,
and
like-
just rolling with zero. No, you have great prep. Don't let me say you don't have great prep, Earl, because you do. You're the only dude
And-
prepared for this one. I got
and since I keep talking about this Jake Fox guy in the
okay.
Grapefruit
Give me
League.
some Jake Fox.
So it was 2011. I remember because he was like ESPN. Like he went off in the Grapefruit League, right? I think this dude hit like 308 or something. I don't remember his batting average, but it was it was over 300, right? So when he was like, okay, so this guy went off in the Grapefruit League and the minor or the spring training. He's got to be able to play at the minor league level, right? The major league level. He gets called up, so he plays. I think at 48, he got 48 at bats, and his batting average was only 188. So, but then again, the spring training, there's always like a lot of non-call ups. You know what I'm saying? It's just people trying to make a roster spot. So that's probably why he went off, because he was hitting against average pitchers, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're not getting the, especially because you're not gonna tax your like aces' arms. You just want to get them a few innings of work, and then everybody else's prospects facing.
That's why no one took him serious. Like, well, it is spring training. But so he got called up, and 188 and 48 at bats is pretty bad.
Yeah. So here's the spring training story I'm thinking of. So Steve Dalkowski is this guy, and
Okay.
Steve Dalkowski was a left-handed guy. Wasn't that big. He was the basis for Epi Calvin LaLouche in the film Bull Durham, who was, played by Tim Robbins, extremely wild, extremely high velocity. And Steve Dalkowski never really got clocked. They didn't really have radar guns at that time.
Oh, the scene in the movie where he throws the ball past the...
Oh, he hits the ball. He's everywhere.
Yeah.
So this guy was like that. He was, upper 90s guy, I'm sure, extremely wild. And everybody who faced him was like, this has got to be the hardest we've seen. Can we clock it? So they built this machine they could place over the plate. And it's like, okay, throw it through here, and we can time how fast that pitch is. But then again, the new radar guns time the ball out of your hand, not as it crosses the plate. So Dalkowski probably threw like 50 wild pitches before he even got it in the apparatus to measure him. And I'm trying to find what the actual measurement was, but the dude was a freak. Some experts believe it went as fast as 110.
Dude,
And that's back then. And
that's like Chapman levels now.
yeah.
Aroldis Chapman. Dude's got some heat, man.
Yeah. I mean, his numbers were insane. But in spring training, Ted Williams actually faced the guy. So this is like matchup that's not going to happen in major leagues. But Dalkowski, AA player, whatever he is, going to get in a bat against Ted Williams. Ted Williams struck out, and he's like, never again, dude. I'm not facing that. That's ridiculous.
So this was a while. This was years and years ago then.
Yeah. Estimates of Dalkowski's top pitching speed about Cal Ripken Sr. guessed he threw up to 115 miles an hour.
Oh, dear God.
Most observers agree he routinely threw well over 110 miles an hour. I mean,
like, what are they basing these numbers off of?
I mean, just on people that they've faced. Williams quoted fastest ever. I never want to face him again.
Can you imagine being hit with a 115-mile-an-hour fastball?
I mean, and he wasn't that big of a dude. Let me try to find the baseball reference. He was not like one of these like six foot whatever dudes. Like he was like under 6 feet, I believe.
115 miles an hour.
Yeah, it was.
Like, damn, dude. Like if you connected with that ball, that vibration of that bat would hurt.
Yeah, it was crazy. And then the other thing about Steve Dalkowski was Earl Weaver, one of my favorite managers, mainly for his cussing, managed him in the minors and was like, "Look, bro, you throw so hard. Nobody throws harder than you do. Just take a little bit off. Don't even try to throw hard. Just get it over the flipping plate. It's unhittable no matter what you're throwing up there." And so he did. He had his like best 2 years with Weaver as the manager. But okay, here's his baseball. He's 5'11", 175. I mean, Lincecum was
5'11"?
a pretty big freak. Yeah. So let's look at his minor league numbers. I want to see innings pitched versus strikeouts on Dalkowski. And walks. These are the numbers we look at. Check out these numbers. So this is 1958 Steve Dalkowski. Looks like he played for 3 minor league teams in 1958. So these are 1958 totals. 104 innings pitched.
Okay.
203 strikeouts and 207 base on balls. So on average, he struck out 2 dudes. He'd walk 2 and strike out 2.
Every inning.
I mean, his ratios of like Ks to innings pitched are just absurd. I mean, that was the craziest one. Now you have to figure, so he was 19 years old apparently in 58, but then as he goes up to like AA or whatever, better hitters, the ratio isn't like 2-1, but it's still just outrageous strikeout. So these are probably his best years. He had like 62 walks in A ball, 141 strikeouts in 108 innings. But what's his ERA? I mean, this is hilarious. His ERA is always like 5, 8, 6. I mean, the dude was just wild. But that's a spring training story. It's like you get these freak shows, not gonna make it. But
they put on a show in the spring training.
And there's another guy like that. I'll find his name, just like as unprepared as I am. But I remember we'd go to Tucson and see some Cactus League games. I don't know if there's any teams that do Tucson anymore because they got a good facility down there, but everybody's in Phoenix. So the remaining teams were like, man, we got to get in the bus, go all the way up to Phoenix, play all the games up there, and then drive all the way back. So they were just kind of like commuting around Phoenix. And then I believe the city of Tucson was like, no, dude, we got to keep these guys here. So maybe they're like cutting some kind of deals to keep teams there because they had some cool fields. But the Colorado Rockies used to do spring training there. I don't know if they still do. But I went to a Rockies game, and the catcher, this guy, I don't think he ever made it to pros. He wasn't that big. And I tried to find I tried to find footage of him. I was like, I wonder if anybody ever recorded this guy throwing the ball down to second. like, because, the pitcher warms up about 10 pitches, you're coming down, throw it down to second, and then throw it around. Yeah. So this is a Rockies. This guy's like AA, AAA catcher. And I was just like, you got to watch. Like, I would stop whatever hot dog I was eating. I was like, I just want to watch this guy. Nobody was running on him. You're not going to steal on this guy. When he threw, and he wasn't that tall. He was like, it seemed like he was like 5'9" or something. It looked like he threw a fastball from whatever shoulder height at a laser beam down angle right to the tag at second base. And it was such a down angle, it seemed like it almost would hit the rubber on the mound. It was the most unbelievable laser beam I've ever seen from a catcher throw down to second. I was like, God, if that guy could hit.
Did he do that little crow hop?
Yeah, it was like Pudge Rodriguez, like, some of these dudes had cannons, but that guy, wow. I mean, but never saw him in the pros, but you go to spring training, you see these guys, and it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to see some of these guys that are prospects. And the other cool thing about spring training is access, right? So, you go to the ballpark in Arlington or whatever, which is not destroyed, I guess. But you can kind of like go hang over the bullpen.
That was awesome because I'm from Dallas and I go to Rangers games all the time. And it was so cool to like stand on the side of the warm-up, I don't know what we call it, warm-up barn, something like that.
Yeah.
And just see the pitchers just throw the heaters, man. It was
and
awesome.
You can shoot the shit with them.
Yeah. Sometimes they would throw balls up to us. We'd be like, hey, man, give us a ball.
I know. You just joke with them. Oh, man.
We're like, you can throw harder than that. Come on.
Yeah, that's the fun part, hanging out by the bullpen. The
bullpen, I call it the barn.
The barn. The shit house.
I was like, what I call it? The barn. I've always called it the pitching barn, and I don't know why.
I like it. I think we should change it to that.
Because I don't know why.
He's coming out of the pitching barn.
Yeah,
back there with the animals. I guarantee you, back in the 1700s, when all these fields were probably in some farmer's pasture, you're like, okay, warm up the next pitcher. Where?
In the barn.
Put that son of a bitch in the barn.
I don't even know if that's an actual phrase that exists or if something I made up. I don't know.
It's the new phrase now. Oh yeah. I lost it. I can't have dead air. I should probably do some bump music.
Well, we were originally going to talk about uniforms.
The Cubs facility in spring training. That's what I was talking about, because they have like their bullpen in the outfield, and the only thing separating you from that particular bullpen, as I recall, was like a chain link fence. So you could walk right up, like, I don't know who was, like Kerry Wood or somebody's like throwing a bullpen, and you just go stand right behind that chain link fence, and you could see what it was like. Like, this is what Major League pitching looks like up this close. You can't do that at a Major League Baseball stadium, but like a spring training, you had all these like little facilities, and you get really close to watching these dudes throw, and you're like, yeah, I would never touch that in a million years. So there's a lot to like about spring training other than red light tickets.
However, have you ever seen the Tropicana Field one? Like, it's like off to the side. It's not even like in the thing. You ever seen it?
Oh, around it's in foul territory there.
Yeah, it's like right there.
Yeah, I think Oakland's like that. Some of those teams do that.
So
that's how the Missions have it. So when the outfielder's going over in foul territory, it's like, dude, you're gonna bust ass if you're going full speed into that thing. Watch them bite it. But yeah,
that's such an awesome field, though.
The Trop.
No, not the Tropicana. Tropicana Field is kind of shitty because it has that weird catwalk thing above the field, and there's like so many. The rules that they have, is it a foul or home run or what is it? It's kind of.
Oh, when it bounces off the stuff.
There's no rules set in stone of how to tell what that is.
I forget. They actually do, like the umpires and.
But it's so hard.
It's like a ground rule double. It kind of depends. Like the Sky Dome, the Astrodome definitely had those rules. It was like, if it hits this speaker or whatever, it's a ground rule double. If it hits this, it's like out of play. I don't even know. But that's oh, dude, I blew out the audio on that one.
Oh, you're fine, man.
But that's kind of cool to think about. Like normally, like it's your prodigious power to sky a ball on a pop-up, which in any other stadium would just be like caught as an out. But because you jacked it straight up and hit the speaker, you got a double out of it. I think that was like the rules.
You know what? But I want to not really transition, but I'm going to do a little side quest here.
Yeah, transition because I'm
thinking that Tropicana Field should somehow set up tickets where you can sit up there on the catwalk and watch the game.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Can you imagine sitting up there watching the game?
Now you're thinking like
Because-
a 1920s owner.
Because you know how many. Well, yeah, sell tickets wherever there's a spot. Put them there. They'll sit. We'll make money. But like, could you imagine those sitting there on the catwalk and seeing the ball coming straight up, or is it the view from that up there? That'd be awesome.
That would be great.
Probably wouldn't be able to see very good, but
Yeah.
you're like a 1920s owner.
That's what you're like, how do I monetize every inch of this
Yeah.
field? You see those like old fields of like people just like standing on the field while they played, and like the
Yeah.
press is like right behind home plate with the camera.
They have places now like that too, where there's seats behind poles, where you literally cannot see.
Obstructed view.
But you can say I was there at the field when
So good. Yeah, see, that's how they talk back then. I got a seat on the field, see?
Johnny Two-Finger with a swing and a miss, and that's the ball game. Chicago Cubs 4, White Sox 3.
Oh my goodness. Spring training. I'm trying to think of other anecdotes that I can just pull out of my rectum.
I think we should talk about uniforms overall.
Okay.
What-
Uniform changes. We can probably go with this.
So the first thing that I want to bring up is those stupid ass Cincinnati Reds sleeveless jerseys. I hate those things.
Oh man, I couldn't be more different. That's the beauty of this podcast is opposites attract.
They just look so dumb. They don't look like a baseball jersey in the slightest.
The sleeveless.
Yeah.
I got some thoughts on the sleeveless.
I want my jerseys to be either like a sleeve, like a short sleeve shirt, or like those old school like 21s where they were like 3/4.
Yeah.
Those two are my favorite. But those sleeveless ones I cannot get behind.
And here's just from like a player's standpoint, the one thing, and I pitched in high school, but if you watch a pitcher, a lot of times they're like adjusting their shirt, and it's silly as it sounds. Like when you deliver the ball, you're like your thrust or whatever whipping through.
Yeah.
It actually was kind of nice, and I can't remember if I had like a youth team that had sleeveless or whatever, when it wasn't like that heavy jersey fabric. It was just the T-shirt. It's like my rotator cuff could like fly around without that extra fabric on a sleeveless jersey. You felt like you just like throw better.
Didn't the Rays have one of those in the 90s, like when they first came around? Didn't they have a...
I think every team eventually works it in so they can sell it. But then you get like the dudes with the huge guns who are like, I don't even need to wear the T-shirt under the sleeveless. That was the bomb.
I see what you're saying now. They can have more arm movement and not be so restricted.
I'm saying, and here's the best image: Ted Klaczynski.
What do you look up? Do you like?
Look up Ted Klaczynski because he's just like, fuck the undershirt. I'm look at my guns. I mean, tell me this guy doesn't drink light beer. Okay, look at that man.
Oh, that dude's smoking cigars and drinking a bottle of whiskey every single day.
Yeah, like look at that.
That is the funniest thing I've ever seen. It's
because
so
I
funny.
thought, like, that's kind of like the uniforms. Like, you have the sleeveless, you're supposed to wear like a red T-shirt underneath, and these dudes are like, nah, I'm not doing that.
Like this guy fucking works down in the coal mine and then comes up to play a game every night.
I'm rooting for sleeveless jerseys, but here's the other. Let me look at the White Sox. White Sox shorts, unis. Oh no, this thing right here. So these are the funniest uniforms of all time.
They're baseball. They're literally shorts.
Yeah, they're wearing shorts. They look like they're above the knee.
There's some guys. I remember when they brought those back.
There's an idea.
Was it last year? Or yeah.
So sad.
There was like a bunch of dads just at the park playing a game.
It's just like beer league in the major leagues. It's just like let's wear these. And I guess like you could talk to the uniform guys like I want to go shorter. And then they had if you
I don't know
look
about all that. I think I'd want them below my knees.
Yeah.
It might look kind of goofy, but.
And then this is a good. You could see the collar. This was like maybe the fashion at the time, where they have the huge collar on the jersey.
Oh yeah.
You gotta have that. Right?
Jerseys have really been through a lot of changes. The coolest ones though was those Pittsburgh Pirates, those black ones.
So, and I was saying this, and it just shows how uneducated I was. Like, dude, that would be the sweetest throwback ever. And the White Sox,
The shorts?
yeah, like do that uni, and this is what they did. They did the throwback. Let's see what date they did this. White Sox are gonna wear throwback unis, and it looks like this is in 2015. So this is them doing the throwback unis right there. But they pussed out and they do the shorts.
Oh yeah.
Come on,
They
man.
I seen that they have the look of the shorts, but they were pants. You know what I'm saying?
It's weak. They don't even do it if you're not going to go full Monty. That's so weak.
But what? I mean, could you?
Do you know how? I mean, you would give the players the option. Here's what you do to your team, right? You got all kinds of people in the clubhouse. You go like, you don't have to wear the shorts. You want to wear pants, wear the pants, do the throwback like that. But there's going to be at least 5 dudes on the team who think the shorts are flippin' hilarious and probably get the best nut huggers that they could find, like all the way up the thigh. And be like, hell yeah, I'm going to get like all these strawberries. I'm going to be sliding all over it. They'd just be.
I would wear the shorts.
They would have
Fuck
so much
yeah,
fun
dude.
with it. Yeah.
Honestly, though, it doesn't look that goofy. Like, I'm looking at a picture right now of Goose Gossage, I think it is.
Yeah, that's Goose.
Yeah, and it does not look that bad.
And if you're trying to make money, do the throwback. Let some of your players wear the shorts. Some of them will because they think it's just as funny as I do. And put a little White Sox logo on those blue shorts. And guess what? Those motherfuckers are going to fly off the shelves.
I would buy a couple pair. Also, for a wiffle ball league that we're going to eventually start, everybody's wearing shorts in this league.
I mean, if you did that proper throwback with the shorts, had the dudes wear them, and put the little White Sox logo on there, I'm buying at least 2 pair of those, and I'm wearing them all summer long.
Yeah.
But they half-stepped it, and that's not how you do things.
I think sometimes, too, the people in charge of marketing don't understand the market in certain aspects. Those would sell.
Yeah. That's so great.
Also, I've noticed, too, I don't know why, but I've noticed the really short shorts, like from the 70s, are coming back. I've noticed a lot of people starting to wear those.
Yeah, like hike up the knee. Like I feel like in the unis, and we could go back through the trajectory because there's some pretty hilarious stuff like back in the old days. But if you hike it up real high, it's like it means you're fast. Like I would hike them up when I played college. Like this is awesome.
Oh,
I
your
wasn't
pants?
that fast.
Oh, your pants?
Yeah, you just like hike it up and show as much like stirrup as you can. And stirrups are another riddle to many people. Like why, if you're just wearing the socks, you need the stirrups on top? And the proper answer to that question is because they're fucking awesome.
Like I love knicker pants. Those are cool with the high socks. Fuck yeah, dude.
The Knickerbockers.
Yeah, with the socks. That was like my favorite uniform choice ever.
Man, there's so many great unis. That's also there's some really good Twitter follows on Uni Watch. But retro, I don't know why retro is sweeter. Like if we were there in the 70s, would we think it was stupid?
Probably.
And now it's awesome. I don't.
Well, I've always liked the knicker pants. I just think to me that's traditional baseball.
The Knickerbockers.
Right? You know, that's how everybody used to wear their socks.
Isn't that how like the old golfers had it? Like
yeah, they always had the pants jacked way up.
Yeah.
I just think in baseball it looks cool. Like it's traditional, and I like some traditional look of baseball.
Yeah, stirrup socks. Give me stirrup socks.
I was never a fan of like the baggy pants that people started wearing, like Barry Bonds when he started wearing the really baggy baseball pants.
Yeah, the first kind of so then they went the other direction. It was like as much stirrup as you could. And it could have been like David Cohn or somebody wore like his pants all the way down and then his socks were just like pushed down. And I was like, that looks comfortable. He just like doesn't have to worry about getting his stirrups right or anything. He's got long pants. He just pulls the socks on and goes from there.
So he pulled the socks on over the pants?
Yeah, well, no, they're like they were all just like you could see it on SportsCenter. They're like pushed down like that, you know, and then the pants just like came down and kind of like dangled there. And then dudes were like, "I'll go even longer," and they were like over the,
yeah, they were
you know,
big.
like
Barry Bonds. Wore
yeah,
pants
Barry
like
Bonds had one. King Felix would wear the long pants over. So it's just like there's all the variations. But I had a thing for Vince Coleman. I thought stealing bases was awesome, and he was stealing like 100 a year with the Cardinals, and he had his baseball pants pulled up just under the knee, but then he had like his stirrups was nothing but stirrup stripe, and then they made these things.
That was like a Prince Fielder. He used to wear those big ass pants too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Prince. Of course, Prince is a big dude. So
yeah.
But Vince Coleman had just it was not stirrup. It was just like the stripe of the leg. Like this is a pretty good.
I love
like
those.
like look at this. That's all stirrup.
What's his name?
Vince Coleman.
Oh yeah, those are the cool socks. I used to have a pair that I'd wear all the time. I had the black ones. They were black and white.
And then you could like they'd give that in Little League. It's like, do you want the regular stirrups or just you just want the G string? It was just like a little stripe.
Yeah.
It went up the side of your leg.
Now you got to go full stirrup, man.
But yeah, dude, he was insane. It was like 120 stolen bases one year.
Like our wiffle ball tournament that we're talking about. We're gonna have a wiffle ball league here. With
Yeah.
The 3BGB league.
Are we playing in the parking lot or in the drainage ditch?
Wherever they'll have us.
There is some room at the end of that drainage ditch. Yeah.
That is a field ready to go. All it needs is the players.
Oh, we're crushing it. I
Hey.
don't know. We got 55 minutes of gold. I think I apologize. I need to be better prepared, Earl. That's part of my problem. I'm
That's
just
okay.
winging it.
That's-
Mainly, it's
hey,
just like sound,
once
like
again-
sound equipment.
Once again, it ain't about preparation around here. It's just about
My
talking about what we want,
At
what
this-
we know.
It'll be this and then like wiffle ball highlights next time around.
And eventually we're going to figure out how to record some video along with this.
Yeah.
Because my camera last time, the podcast itself was like an hour and a half, but it stopped recording the video after 14 minutes.
Absolutely.
I don't know if it ran out of room or just shut off, but
absolute vertical learning curve on the technology.
I'm thinking I'm going to ask the school, hey, can I borrow the camera for about 4 hours every Tuesday? Recording one of those badass cameras they have at the school.
Yeah. They got
They would let us borrow it.
we have
4
a
hours?
different camera now than
What they used to have.
the
yeah.
first like digital video one, and then you take like advanced digital video. So like, no, we're gonna give you the next camera, and then the third class in community college is gonna be cinematography, where you can switch out lenses. And I'm trying to invest in gear, but I was like, I don't know what the. Tell me what the frick to get, man.
Like,
like,
those
I'm
things
looking at
are
all these
expensive, like $10,000. I ain't got $10,000 to throw around in that
I
camera.
don't know, man. I mean, you want something that shoots 4K, but
Yeah.
then like these lenses, like I don't know.
We'll put our money together. We'll get a badass camera. We'll have like fucking 4K streaming of this podcast and shit.
Just check the pawn shops.
Yeah.
We gotta check the pawn shops. All right, let's bump music it maybe into Isotopes.
Ooh. You know what? Just give it a
Should
shot.
should I just bump music it into no Isotopes or something?
You do whatever you want. You're in charge. You have
Actually, let's keep bullshitting.
you have
and
the
then-
button over there. I
I'll
can't
see-
quite reach it.
All
It's
right,
just a little out of my reach.
let's see if I can get the Isotopes up on Spotify, and then I think I can plug it in with this thing right here.
What is that? Oh, you're gonna hook up the sound.
It's like, yeah, like the phone jack or whatever. But then we got to do like the soundboard different. All right, so I'm going to do bump. Let's do different bump music.
So
to
did you
see.
know that I forgot to mention this, but they call themselves their band's called the Isotopes, right? But they actually call themselves. I don't know. Do they? I don't. You know what? Never mind. Never mind. I was thinking of something totally different. Do not listen what I was about to say.
Isn't the Albuquerque Isotopes AAA?
Yeah, there's that too. There's an actual.
I wonder if they're like fans. Are they from Albuquerque?
Actually, you know what? Here's the thing. I'm sorry. I was not thinking at the same time. But the Isotopes, you know, they're like the band.
Yep.
They actually call themselves the official name is the Isotopes Punk Rock Baseball Club.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't. So there's a band, and I'm just gonna keep talking. So there's there's another band in Canada. So the Isotopes from Canada, right? There's also a band called the Hextalls. But they're like the Isotopes, but instead of singing about baseball, they sing like pretty much everything about hockey.
Hockey, yeah.
Yeah, and so one day they were talking and they were like, "Yeah, there's like this other band and they're like us, but they sing about baseball called the Isotopes." I'm like, "Huh, I love baseball. I love punk rock. Let's check it out." And I did, and I've been listening to them since. I think it's fucking awesome though.
I think anytime you can marry that together, because there's like a genre of like nerd rap that came up where dudes would just make like rap songs about Star Wars, and if you get into the genre of nerd rap, some of that shit is so good.
Well, one of my favorite songs by the Isotopes it's a song about what the fuck is that guy's name? He played for the Mets, and he was like a really good.
Sid Bream? No,
No, he was a shitty
Sid Fernandez.
He was a shitty offensive player, but he was badass at defense. Roy Ordonez or whatever his name
Ray
was.
Ordonez.
Yeah, there we go. Like he was badass at defense, but his offense was shit. He couldn't hit for shit.
Let's see the
But-
Isotopes. is Duck and Cover one of their songs, as far as you know?
I believe so.
Really?
You could play any song by theirs and it would be awesome.
I wonder if they have like an about.
They cover "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." It's fucking awesome.
Okay, let me see if I can find that one.
Yeah. Oh, you're on Spotify, huh?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the. I have the Isotopes on Spotify. They have a song called Jolly Rancheros. You think that's them?
Honestly don't know.
There's so many Isotopes.
They have a
Oh, this has got to be them. Because Let's Go Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's them. That's them. That's them.
This is definitely them. All right, so now we're gonna go plug in here.
So once you click on that song, you can go to the artist page and check out the other songs.
All right, I'm gonna try to play Let's Go Blue Jays, and we'll see if we can hear this in our flipping headphones. Okay, turn up.
That's the nigga that's getting.
Whoops, that's the last song I was playing.
That's definitely not the Isotopes.
That's Gimme the Loot. So
I'm gonna pause that. Since when did they go into rap?
I don't think I can get sued for that.
Give me the pussy, give me the loot. I was
this is a jam. Let's just do like one more bar of.
I wouldn't give a fuck if you give me the baby rings and the number.
I can't do that. We're gonna get so sued.
That's why we have an E next to our name on Spotify. Cause
that was the last song. I was listening to that the other night when I was up here. Dude, I have to figure out sound.
And who was that exactly?
That's Notorious B.I.G. The legend. Okay. Let's see. Let's Go Blue Jays.
Blue Jays, okay. Blue Jays, we wanna party like it's 1992. The preacher starts with champagne and the bathroom. We wanna party like it's 1993. Let's sit them down and chalk up another victory. Let's go Blue Jays. Let's go Blue Jays. Let's go Blue.
I will say this.
They're not from Canada?
They are.
Oh, they are. Okay,
I get extra excited when a baseball reference of any kind is referenced in anything. You know what I mean? What was that famous Blue Jays guy, Joe Carter? That was his name?
Yeah,
the guy that hit the home
Joe
run?
Carter, game-winning, World Series-winning homer
against
off Mitch Williams. Wow.
Against my dude. That's my dude right there, Mitch Williams, man.
Williams.
He had the coolest
Great
pitching stance
season.
ever, too. That knee came to the ground.
My goodness. Okay, that's pretty dope. That is, and if you look at the picture, there's a little picture on Spotify. They have 595 monthly listeners. Let's Go Blue Jays.
They should have way more than 595. They should have like a billion.
Oh, dude, they got a song that has their most listens. It looks like 55,000 on Dead on Arrival or DOA, whatever that means.
Okay, yeah.
But I have to listen to Chicks Dig the Long Ball. But I will say, if you look at this picture, it looks to me like there's 6 dudes.
Yeah.
I can't tell what they're like wearing T-shirts. They look pretty thrashy, but they're all like drinking.
So they actually have 2 albums. I don't know if they're on Spotify, but they have Nuclear Strike Zone.
Yeah.
And then 95 World Series.
That's awesome.
Champions. Yeah. Those are the 2 I know. I don't know if they have more or not, but those are the 2 I know.
Their picture's funny, and it's not the Isotopes. If you have to, for those 9 listeners, if you look at just Isotopes is how I found them on Spotify. So this is Chicks Dig the Long Ball.
Them dinger derbies.
Have you heard this one before?
Yeah.
Chicks Dig the Long Ball. Okay.
I've listened to all their music.
I can't help but think about myself. I can't help but think about myself. Uh-oh, no more hit and run. Uh-oh, no more dropping rhymes. Uh-oh, no more knockout punch for me. We don't care about our brains. We don't care about our names. We pump juice like worm canes.
I'm waiting for the chorus.
There goes.
Chicks dig the long ball. Chicks dig the long ball. I can't help but think about my.
Chicks Dig the Long. True statement.
But chicks may dig the long ball, but actual baseball fans will dig the base hit.
I'll take a bunt.
I'll take a nice base hit over a home
MLB's
run.
destroying small ball for me.
Some people listen to this are like, the fuck?
What the fuck? This is hilarious. They got some pretty good album names. Single. They have 1994 World Series champions. This is the 2017 album. Nuclear Strike Zone, which is fucking hilarious.
If you listen to the
2015.
Cuban Missile, that's the one that I was talking about that had the Ray Ordonez song on there.
Shit, these guys have their own podcast. It's like Isotopes Radio. Oh no, that's Isotopes Radio.
There's I'm sure there's plenty of baseball podcasts, but nothing like us.
There's usually the about. Let me read the about.
Since
Since taking the Canadian Punk League by storm in 2006 and delivering a string of clutch singles, Vancouver's the Isotopes have garnered a reputation as the wild and relentless underdogs of Ramones-esque punk rock awesomeness. Pioneers of the baseball punk genre, I'll fucking say. The club's gritty, no-bargain brand of 100% juice-injected baseball-themed punk rock has earned them faithful legions of fans and juice heads worldwide. Okay, here we go.
That's what our band's going to be about when we start singing
I don't know
about
what
baseball.
2017 is about 5 years ago. I still hope they're doing shit, but awesome. I mean, they've made a fan out of me. Let's do a couple more tunes here.
Because I don't know about copyright claims or strikes or whatever, but I think if you play like 20, 30 seconds, I think you're okay.
Oh, yeah. I got to put my non-disclaimer in.
What's that?
That you can sue us. Right? Just sue us.
I'll
settle.
The fuck they gonna get out
I'll
of us?
fucking settle right now.
We're not making money yet.
I'll tell you what you get. You're going to get your filing fees back. Your attorney, I'm not paying all his shit. These guys try to say they spent $2,000 drafting up a petition to sue me. Go fuck yourself. I'll give you $500 in attorney's fees. Filing fees, $500 in attorney's fees. Or if you just DIY'd it, you're not getting any attorney's fees.
So
and whatever profit we made from our 9 listeners.
So, dealing with me?
Yes.
No problem. But Dutch Chattahoochee comes into the picture. You might want to watch out.
Dutch
Chattahoochee.
You gonna break some kneecaps?
No.
That's what they call settle out of court.
But I'll make people disappear. You know what I mean?
The problem disappeared. What happened to that lawsuit? I don't know. They didn't show up at court that one day.
They decided to call it off. They said, you know what? It's not that big a deal.
That's, of course, Martin Scorsese, one of my favorite directors. Movie Casino.
Mm-hmm.
They, the partner at the casino is getting sued by this lady who got hosed in a real estate deal. And the mobster Anthony Spilotro, played by Joe Pesci.
I love Casino.
The audio voiceover is like talking about the lawsuit. He's like, so I decided to settle out of court. She's like in her house blowing her head off. It's like shoots her in the head. That's how you settle out of court. We'll not do that. We'll settle. We just want to promote your music, really. Okay, so this is the other one. This song's got the most listens, DOA. Let's see what this is about.
One shot, one throw, one down. Broke you, me got gunned down. Mess with the best, die like the rest. Long range precision power. Broke you, me hit the shower. Challenge the gun, die on the run. DOA. Dead on arrival. DOA. Dead on arrival.
See, people can also get a look into a lot of the music we like. Well,
Yeah.
what baseball and punk, when you put them together, how awesome that shit sounds as a combo.
It is. I mean, I'll play
But you're also getting baseball knowledge while you're listening to awesome tunes.
I know.
So now you know that the Blue Jays won the '92 World Series if you listen to that song.
If you didn't know that, Canada punk, that's just a good flavor right
There's a lot of shit to dive
They're
into
just
with that.
good stuff up there. That's
I mean,
and
the
thank you for
space
putting me onto
shits.
that. Space shits.
Oh, dude, like I said, I can make you like if you love them. You may not. I don't know if you like hockey, but you'll love the Hextals.
Oh, I love hockey.
Okay, you'll love the Hextals.
I'm just
dude.
an American, so I'm super uneducated
I'll
about
fucking
hockey.
send you some of their songs. You're like badass. But yeah, I'm glad you like the Isotopes because it's baseball and punk. How could you not?
I fucking love that. I think we're like doing some really professional production here with our podcast that we actually piped that in, and now I can go back to the soundboard.
It's crazy that all you do is plug in a little external device and hit play.
That
and it
shit is
fucking-
crazy. I think so. We're at 107. 1 hour and 7 minutes.
I thought you were about to say the radio station. I'm like, no, we're not at 107. We're at 97.9.
97.9 The Cat. So we got about 20 minutes left.
Oh, you want to talk for a whole hour and a half every time? Because that's no problem.
Consistency. I think we could fill it because the couple things I want to do.
Okay.
We can continue to rabbit hole. I want to self-review because I feel like I had a horseshit podcast. Like if I was a pitcher, I feel like I got knocked out in the 4th inning and I gave up like 9 runs.
Your ERA was pretty shot.
I was unprepared. I was talking out of my ass about stuff I didn't know, just trying to make it. My main goal for today was like conquering sound equipment, but I'll have to listen to this and like how many random ass points did I start and not finish? What was I talking about, Earl? Completely lost my mind.
Well, we were talking about spring training was transitioned into spring training storage, but then somehow went off on a tangent about uniforms, but went back to about other stuff. But see, that's the thing. I feel like if I'm listening to something, I don't want someone to carry on forever about the same thing. I want to, get to the point. Blah blah. Blah. That's the beauty of punk too. It's like that. It gets straight to the fucking point.
All right. So
but
now,
see, what little do you don't know, and I'm sure people that know who I am know. I will go on fucking tangents, dude. I'll start talking about something and then branch off and then just totally lose track of what I was talking about. I will never get to the point of the story ever.
Here's the tangent I'm going to take you down next because we did tease it at the beginning. Is yo-yos, yo-yo groupies.
Okay, they exist. They're a real thing.
I don't know, but I'm Googling yo-yo trick names, and you don't have to know. You don't have to know what any of these.
I want to definitely invest in the. I have like 3 yo-yos on my desk, or not on my side table at home. I probably don't need more, but I'm gonna buy like a badass one. I saw on Amazon, like a pro model.
Yeah.
See, that's another thing we're gonna add to this when we get video. We're just gonna be yo-yo segments.
Well, also I can get in the last 20 minutes here. I can bust out the organ.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a legit piano organ thing right now in this room.
Okay, so walk the dog.
The famous, everybody knows that.
Everybody knows that one. Okay, the elevator. I don't know what that one is. Rock the baby.
Yeah, that's
classic.
That's simple. I actually was busting that move earlier.
The Eiffel Tower. That looks like some string work there.
That's I remember how
around the world. I can kind of do.
Yeah, I can do the what do you call it? Where you like sling it forward and bring it back.
Yeah, I think that's the what is that? The forward toss.
Something.
I'm looking for funny names though. The pinwheel. Man on the flying trapeze, the brain twister, sidewinder, snapwind. They need sexier names. It was like snowboarders, and they always got like. He did a 16 cab with a mute grab. I think that's actually I figured it out. So that's why he's not mainstream.
What move was that?
They're not naming their tricks hard enough. Mach 5, that's kind of a cool name. I don't know what that is, but that's a cool name.
I think they need like really funky names,
They do.
Like the George Clinton 47. He just did a George Clinton 47 into a USC backflip 29. Oh my God, blue 42. Like
there's one called the Jade Whip. Seasick. Seasick is one that sounds cool. Boingy boing. That's just not gonna. That's just.
They need like ridiculous names.
Yeah.
Like you said.
This one's Magic Drop and Shockwave. Kind of cool.
Shockwave sounds cool. Yeah.
Buddha's Revenge. You can watch all these videos.
Check this out. I saw the coolest name ever for a yo-yo trick. You ready for this, bad boy?
Yeah.
I want to call a move the Stinker.
The Stinker. That was my sister's stuffed animal growing up. She had a skunk. It was her favorite stuffed animal.
But you know what I mean? Can you imagine, like, here he goes. He's winding up. Oh, the fucking Stinker. Crowd goes wild. Fuck yeah, dude.
It's like a finishing move.
The Stinker?
In WWE, it's like a finishing move.
The Stinker?
You do all your tricks, walk the dog, the Eiffel Tower, and he's like, oh, is he going to do the Stinker? I don't know. It's like, he hasn't done it in years. He's going to do this. He's, oh, fuck, he did that Stinker.
Pulling that shit from the back catalog.
Yeah.
The back catalog of moves.
Oh, my God. Did I unplug this thing? I hope not.
But see, no, it's still working.
All right. So I gotta work in Take Me Out to the Ball Game. We gotta fuck with all our sound effects, Earl.
They're gonna be listening to it like, what the fuck is this about?
What are these people doing? Is like, we are learning and we're terrible. We know that.
We're bringing them into the room with us.
That's right. You're here with us with just clueless ass. All right, so I'm gonna find myself in Oregon. No. Oh,
I think we should get a job as a Oregon player at a baseball game.
are you picking that up on your headphones?
I hear it.
Okay, I'm gonna get the mic over here.
Welcome to the ballgame on this sunny afternoon in Chicago, Illinois, on the south side of Chicago.
Now,
That's all you know?
That's well, no, I know this part then too, and then I forget.
Okay, you know what? Welcome to the game.
Oh my God, we crushed it again today.
I feel like that right there was a great closer.
Yeah,
Wrapping up the
had
show.
I had a lot of dead air. I had a
not
lot.
really,
I
not
had a lot of things I talked about. And I was like, you know that, like, I couldn't remember the name of Bull Durham or Steve Dalkowski. It's just lack of preparation on my part.
That's a good
I'm
thing about
sorry
this.
to the 9 listeners.
We have 10 now. We'll have 10. Because I'll put this up on YouTube, right? Spotify. What else do we put it on? We also put it on Anchor.
Yeah.
Well, Anchor is like the host, and it distributes it to everywhere else. But we got a subscriber on YouTube, so we have one subscriber.
One
now.
subscriber. I went on and commented on YouTube. I said that's the greatest podcast I've ever listened to. So we have one comment. What else?
It sucks because I couldn't see who subscribed. Because I would have.
Who that person was?
I would have texted him or messaged
Sent him a postcard.
Yeah,
Thank
dude,
you.
Appreciate it.
We love you.
Here's your free bottle of water.
Oh my gosh. What else was I going to say? I don't know. It's like we didn't really get as much legs out of the yo-yo content as I thought we might.
That's for
I
next
think
time.
yo-yo trick names could be punk band names, but they're just not hard enough. And that's where the yo-yo community fell down.
See, for me personally, punk names for bands, I want the stupidest shit ever for a band name. I don't want my shit to sound serious or hard. Nothing. I want it to sound dumb.
Yeah. I wanted to get more legs out of the yo-yo segment in the sense that I just was going to paint a picture of like some dominant yo-yo person, and he's like, yeah, dude, I have some like hundreds of millions of followers, all these groupies, they throw themselves at me. Is like, that's on sponsorships alone, I make like $800,000 a year. Like some sort of yo-yo world I didn't know existed. Maybe it does exist, but I didn't get there with it. And I guess what I'm saying is I feel like I'm going to soft sell the yo-yo community, and then I'm going to walk out and meet the hardest fucking yo-yo dude ever who's like, you don't think we got what it takes? You don't think we're badasses, bro? And I'm like, no, that's not what I was saying. I was just saying he's going to kick my ass.
Do you know how many
and
underground
choke me with his yo-yo cart.
league tournaments there are behind those back alleys? There's a fucking underground basement cell,
Money on the game.
right? Who's gonna pull the baddest trick of all time here? And there's money involved. Winner.
It's like the Kumite with
Yeah.
Bloodsport and Van Damme. Like you go in there,
But
you
they'll have
have your
yo-yos.
yo-yo, and it's like you bet $1,000 and there's only 50 in your pocket.
Check
you
this shit
better
out.
fucking
So
yo-yo.
I imagine this scenario: you and I get called into this underground yo-yo club, right?
Okay.
These dudes are yo-yoing. They're going back and forth, right?
Okay.
So right before the guy pulls out the stinker, right? He takes off his yo-yo off his hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Reaches in his pocket, right? Pulls out the yo-yo glove.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Puts that shit on. The crowd goes silent. 'Cause
They
you
know.
you
But it's like
know-
a custom glove.
Yeah.
With like embroidered and shit.
You know this fucker is about to pull the craziest trick ever.
Like in the middle finger where the yo-yo goes on, glow in the dark.
Right? Has a skull, glow in the dark skull.
With blood on it.
He's all like, turn down the lights. The lights dim. He starts, winding up his yo-yo. He doesn't, man. The Armageddon trick called the Apocalypse. Shit goes fucking nuts, dude.
Oh my God. Why hasn't this movie been made? Or this is real life. This is not fiction.
It's real life based. It's gonna be a movie soon. We're gonna be in it.
That's more like now we're
Now they're gonna allow us to
now
start.
we're getting into the yo-yo segment I envisioned for us.
But see, they don't
Blood sport.
understand that yo-yo. People think it's a joke, but it's not. Like
It's not.
there's two types of yo-yos, right? Responsive and non-responsive.
Mm-hmm.
Responsive will be the one where you can just tug it like normal and it comes back up. Now, non-responsive, you actually have to do certain tricks for that fucking thing to come back to you.
Right.
So those are like the legit pros. Like I imagine people that I couldn't use one of those because I'm not that badass. I can't. If I was tugging, it wouldn't come up. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, yeah. There's two different ways to yo-yo.
Yeah, because I had one called, it was like Yo Mega growing up. It had like the centrifugal force would like release the springs.
Yeah.
And then it would spin forever, which I couldn't figure out how to do with a regular Duncan yo-yo. And I thought that was cool.
I had a Tornado. That was the name of the one I had.
That's a good one.
It was called the Tornado. It was like a clear yo-yo with like a black label on the sides.
Did you ever get the glow-in-the-dark Duncan?
I have one that I bought at the dollar store. It doesn't spin, but it glows in the dark.
If you want to talk about knocking shit all over your
Yeah.
room because you're like, I gotta do it in the dark.
You know the fucking worst thing about yo-yoing though is you get a yo-yo for the first time and you think it's gonna spin, and you throw it really fucking hard to get that good spin, and it doesn't. It comes back up and fucking breaks your finger.
Blast you. Here's another thing about yo-yoing that I feel has to have happened. So, like, Wu-Tang Clan, Kung Fu movies, they all have, like, the different styles and the different weapons. There's, like, some dude with
Yeah.
double swords. There's a guy with, like, a
Nunchucks.
long staff.
You have your nunchucks too.
Yeah, and there's, like, the nunchucks, somebody with, like, a chain, and there's, like, all this stuff. How is there... Because, like, the yo-yo's not complicated. It's just, like, a spinny thing with a string. How is there not a yo-yo with a bunch of, like, razor blades on the edges?
It's almost like a star, like things that you throw.
Yeah, like
those-
throwing stars.
But it's on the yo-yo. It's like a blade, like a saw blade almost.
Yeah. Well, I guess
Dude.
you couldn't have that because when it comes back to you, you're just going to slice your own hand open.
That'd be sick. A saw blade yo-yo. Like you have two saw blades, but in the middle you have.
If
like,
it somehow knew how to retract.
yeah, it's almost like a Duncan butterfly, where there's a gap for
Yeah.
your finger to slide into, but
Oh, you can grab it in the middle.
yeah, like
I
a
gotcha.
butterfly yo-yo, but instead of like being yo-yos, it's two saw blades.
Hollywood needs to get on that.
Like that alone would fucking win you the competition. You show with
You'd
that bad
slice
boy.
somebody's head off with your yo-yo. That has
Hey,
to be
look,
a thing.
that's the price someone's gonna have to pay.
Honestly,
Do
you
you
don't
want to
even
see me win or not?
and you don't. And the other weaponizing aspect of it is, I guess you wouldn't necessarily need the blades if your yo-yo was heavy enough. You could just like knock people out with like a
True,
mace, and then it spins and comes right back to your hand, and then you just get you get like double arms going. You're just knocking everybody out all around you.
But see, I want both. I want the weight and the blades.
And the blades, because that's always in a movie, right? Like the good guy, and he's surrounded by like 10 bad guys, and they're like, "Oh, we got you. You can't get away, dude." And he's like, "Oh, that's what you think." And
Right.
then he just busts it out, and two yo-yos. I don't know.
I want this that dude you're talking about, surrounded by 10 bad guys. I want this dude, like the good guy, to walk in the room, take a good look at these people surrounding him, and be like, "What up?" And then he pulls out his fucking saw blade yo-yo.
Yeah, and then he gets laid because he saved,
Right.
saved everything, and people will be like, "Ah, fucking yo-yo game is like that's pretty hard."
You hear some guy in the background, kick his ass, Steve's badass.
That's what I'm thinking about. I don't know. What do you think of our podcast so far, Earl?
Dude, I think this yo-yo segment was really cool.
We worked it. We worked it like you would in a gym. Like we just kept back and was like, I'm gonna go do another rep on it. Keep coming back to it until we got
Hey,
something.
if you need me to bullshit a story to make a segment up, I got you. I can do that.
got that. We do better when we riff, Earl.
Yeah, but see, the thing about the underground yo-yo clubs, those are real. That's not bullshit stories. Those are real. They exist.
I think they exist. I just gotta find them.
You had to make like some kind of call. You had to for them to hear you. You had to be like, go out in the street, "Ka-ka, ka-ka," and then they'll hear the signal, and they'll, "Hey, you looking for some yo-yos?" You're like, "Yeah, dude, what up?" You're like, "Follow me," and you
Yeah.
go.
And I'd have to start like as the guy who gets his ass kicked at first, right? Like you remember like the
Yeah.
old WWF where there was
Yeah.
like Hulk Hogan, and then he's fighting some guy named like John Smith, and you're like, "Oh, that guy's about to get destroyed because he doesn't have a name." That's what I would be. They're like, "Who's the yo-yo Terminator getting next?" And then I would be like, "I'm Ernie," and then they're like, "Oh yeah," they throw you in the pit and you just get annihilated.
You're like the guy that shows up like in the funky colored trunks, like the generic color.
Yeah, and
pads,
show up in the Zubas.
Yeah.
The Zuba sweatpants and get annihilated. I'm done in like 2 minutes.
The thing about these underground clubs is they knock you out before they take you, so you have no idea where it is. Because
Yeah.
that way you can't tell nobody. It's like what's that fight movie we don't talk about? The Fight Club.
Fight Club.
It's like Yo-Yo Club. You don't talk about the Yo-Yo Club.
Talk about Yo-Yo Club. I think it's something like if I can't find the underground Yo-Yo Club, I could work it in because I feel like in San Antonio I could find some cockfighting, and I could be like, "Dude, add this to the undercard." So you got like these roosters are gonna kill each other at 6, and then the next bout's at 6:30 and 7 for all the people milling in and
But see-
buying beers, do some yo-yo deathmatch
We're
at
like the intermission.
5.
We're like the intermission. We're like the opening act.
Yeah.
Of yo-yos.
Just add to the
When
undercard.
that's my yo-yo sound. Hear that? That's my yo-yo spin.
I'd go to that.
Absolutely.
I fucking $10 at the door. Yo-yo deathmatch followed by 3 cockfights.
I don't know if I want to watch the cockfights, but
Yeah, Peta's gonna sue us for this, right?
if I can see some yo-yos, I'm willing to watch yo-yos. I wonder if they'll let me leave after the yo-yo's done.
Yeah.
I really don't want to watch no cockfights. to be
Yeah.
honest.
Okay. Let's
But-
not support animals killing each other. What about pig races? Pig races.
You can do some of that.
Red Lodge, Montana. I can't remember if they're pigs or goats, but they had a good system there.
I think that-
The sound picked up my cough.
Yeah, I heard it, but you know what?
Okay.
That's all right. You can. If we don't edit it out and it's in there, that's just what this is. That's what you hear.
All right, we're right at the moment. If there's somebody like listening to the end and they're like, "Why the fuck did I come this far?" Don't worry, we got you. We got you, motherfucker, because we're gonna bump music on the way out like some fucking pros.
See, the good thing, I understand it's an hour and a half or whatever, but the fact that it's a lot of different things and we're not saying the same thing, it keeps you interested. Like, what are they gonna talk about next?
You don't know. I mean, we did tease all the segments we did talk about. So, like, if there's somebody like who was like, "Oh shit, I like yo-yos," they had to stay to the end.
See,
to
like,
get it.
I understand there are some people who can talk about the same thing forever, which I can, but like, there's so much to talk about. It's hard for me to say one thing over and over again. Like, oh, I want to talk about this now, and talk about that. I want to talk about everything.
I don't know.
And there's gonna be content every single time.
Do we want to tease next week? We came up with a couple ideas we hadn't thought of. I forgot what they were.
I don't remember.
I should probably take notes.
That's all right. We'll.
Universal DH.
Yes, we'll talk about that. Because that's
I-
new.
That could just be. I should just like have a separate podcast of me ranting and cussing about the destruction of baseball. Because the next thing is robot umpires. Like
That's gonna
what?
come.
What is the game? If you just want home run derby, just start DHing for like the shitty second baseman that hits like 212. Just DH for 2 DHs.
Might as well. Why don't you just fucking stretch out the strike?
It's
zone
like we
too
don't
while
want
you're
bad
at it?
offense. We just don't want like if you can't hit above like 220 with 60 RBIs, we can DH for you.
You know what it is though? Why all these changes are coming? They want the game to be sped up. People don't want to sit there. The way I look at it,
Pitcher was out in 3 pitches.
yeah. The way I look at it though is like if you don't fucking want to watch the game that is long, 9 innings, don't fucking go.
I mean,
You know what I'm saying? People are bitching about a sport they don't even watch.
okay. I mean, we're teasing next week, but I mean that's the argument. It's like, okay, dude, I'm cool with the DH. DH is great. You had that. You have it. We have the best of the people like me. We have the National League. People like DH get the American League. It's the best. It's like a marriage with a perfect compromise where everybody's getting what they want. And I think that they overthought it in how many people actually want a universal DH. Like corporate headquarters talk themselves into it with like finances and whatever. It makes sense for the fans and rating. It's not going to move the needle on the ratings. It's not going to change anything. And they talk themselves into it. And I think there's just like probably a silent minority, but it could be a majority because baseball fans are nutty people like me. It's like, dude, why? That's like all the quirks out of the game.
When I saw
the
it,
National
pisses me
League.
off. It
Yeah.
pisses me off.
That was so quirky. It's so quirky.
It's taking away the strategy of facing a pitcher.
You got to manage around it.
It's going to manage the shift, you know?
I mean,
Everything.
yeah, you got to figure out when you're pulling the pitcher. If it is a close game and it comes up in a crucial spot, are you pinch hitting now? Does the pitcher go 2 more innings because he's dealing? I mean, there's just an entire the double switch, keep the pitcher in, put him in right field, bring it like for a bit. Like there was so many wrinkles attached to a super shitty hitter that was the pitcher. So
It's a thinking man's game, and
yeah,
people are trying to take that away.
I think they lost something and they don't realize it.
'Cause
And there's no going back.
There's something awesome about like you said, where it's like the 8th inning. It's like a tie game or 1-run game, and your pitcher's been dealing right, and you're like, okay, do we take him out? He's been really good, or do we put in this hitter and maybe have a chance to go ahead and win the game? But now it's just like that's not there anymore,
Yeah.
and they're gonna realize it. And I'm sure there are fans like you and I who are really pissed off about it. But like I said, baseball now they're trying to speed up the game, and it's all about what the newer age people want.
God, It's. I mean, and if we're just listening, I don't know. I digress because we're getting into next week's episode. So next week,
But
we'll,
it's hard
we'll
not to
tease-
talk about it right now, though.
We
You know
can
what I
tease because I am going to ETH Denver,
mean? Okay.
so we can tease crypto. We can tease Universal DH or just rule changes. I could bag on rule changes.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like the fact that the Robot Empires is a talking point that they've been talking about for years. It's so fucking stupid. But that's what everybody says who disagree with it. Human element is so great.
It's a slippery slope, and I will take the absurdities to the nth degree in episode 3, so they can see the type of heroin that they're playing with, the drug that they're dabbling with.
On what
that
aspect?
says like I'm gonna fix fucking baseball and do all this.
They're gonna
shit.
fuck it up. They're gonna fuck it up.
Well, they're gonna homogenize it into fucking the
You know
same
what?
shit over
Here's
and
the
over.
thing. Here's the thing. They want home runs. They want like big time plays. Let's move in the field. Let's make the fucking outfield. Let's make 200 feet, 200 yards, whatever.
I don't get it. So we can do that. We can talk about ETH Denver. I guess I will tease the longest home run ever project.
Because I am not going to Denver. But
Earl is not on the flight. This is prelims if I can pull it off, but I'll cover that. What happened?
The project though that you've been talking
The
about.
secret project, top secret.
It's badass, and I will try to take part in that.
Well, you'll come up in the summer if we can actually get it together.
It's all about time management.
If one of our 9 listeners is a recently retired major leaguer with power, I want you to take batting practice at 9,000 feet above sea level. Is what I'm
So
saying.
call Crawford. I know you're listening. X-Rays player, Red Sox, Dodgers. My favorite player ever. You're not playing baseball anymore, so I know you could. Let's come with us and hit some dingers.
Oh yeah, let me do the last thing here in our last minute. We're right at it. If you want to get in touch with us before we bump music out, hit us up on Twitter at BMB Baseball, and that is, where is it? If I can get it, at BMB_baseball. Texas Tony Turnstile at BMB_baseball. DM me, and we'll fucking talk about all kinds of shit.
We also have a YouTube channel, and so our podcast is on Anchor and Spotify, which is just under 3BGB. And there's also a YouTube channel with the same name, 3BGB.
Yep. Earl's doing spectacular work on the tech side. It's a learning curve for us, so we're gonna bump it out, Earl.
So, yeah, it's literally 3BGB on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. That's all. It's a logo. You'll see the logo, and you just hit subscribe.
I also think we're on BBC and CNN, but I haven't checked. NBC does NBC play in our stuff?
NBC,
BBC, CNN, maybe.
I want to
Oprah
say,
Network.
I want to say yes.
I'm not sure. I haven't checked.
Those guys at CNN will probably listen to his like
They're
content quality.
Also
Put it
gonna
up.
sue us. All right, let's try some bump music out here. I don't know what this one is. I don't think I pushed this one yet. Let's see if this plays as we go. All right, we'll see y'all next time, folks.